What's happening? It's Monday Night Live. Welcome. Let me know in the chat if you're tuning in. I'm just going to wait for a few people to join Monday Night Live. We are 15 minutes behind, or 10 minutes behind schedule today. Just got to keep you guys on your toes, you know, make sure that you're paying attention. Thanks for the text, by the way. Just checking if Monday Night Live was on. I do appreciate that. People were waiting, and don't worry, I'm here. Yep. I've just got a few more texts. Let me know in the comments if you're tuning in and where you're joining us from. I'm going to be going into content on LinkedIn today in a big way. Oh, Marshall's just joined the Monday Night Live. So that means LinkedIn video. LinkedIn video is really hot at the moment. And I also want to show you, I'm just going to see if this works. We got some new live effects. How cool was that? A standing ovation. Vlipsy it's like GIFs. You know, if you see GIFs in like people use them a lot in like articles and post them in videos and stuff. The thing with GIFs is there's no audio. Vlipsy's like the same, but it's got audio. It's pretty amazing. Cool, I'm just playing around. All right, let's have a look at the comments. We've got some people here. G'day, Lee. How are you, mate? Thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it, Lee. Paul, greetings from the UK. Mate, appreciate you joining us from all the way across on the other side of the world. Jill Brown from Wollongong, welcome. Lee, Marshall, Lee says you look sprightly. There you go. Bit of feedback from Marshall there. That's great. Hamilton Hill. Marshall is popular tonight. That was cool. I'm glad you thought so. I wasn't the only one. Guys, let me know in the comments questions. I want more questions this live. And it can be around LinkedIn content, LinkedIn video. I think let's just like focus on LinkedIn. I reckon that's where we need to be having a discussion at the moment. MD Rakib, welcome to the live. Marshall, I'm working, buddy. LinkedIn user says hello. Well, hello, Baxia. Craig from Melbourne joining in. A lot of people on LinkedIn today. It's good to see. Alrighty. While I'm waiting for you guys to throw me all your questions, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go through some free content. Share audio, no. Let's see if this works. There we go. How do you pronounce GIFs? 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 I don't even know the answer to that. Can someone please help me and Lee and tell us how to pronounce GIFs or GIFs or Giphies or Jiffies, whatever those things are. I think you know what I'm talking about. Renee, what's happening? How are you? Okay, so before I go into this content, I want to talk about the title, because there's a little bit of a hack in the title here. There's a clue in the title. Why nobody likes your LinkedIn video. Paul has got an answer. It's GIF. Is that what I said? Probably not. All right. Marshall's going to join us. Come on. No. Oh, he wants to play. All right. We're not going to worry about Marshall. So in the headline, a bit of psychology here. And I came across this probably 7 or 8 years ago when I started posting articles on LinkedIn. And I always used to do things like 5 messages that you should send to generate leads on LinkedIn, or like the 3 tips to get your profile to #1. And then one time I tried the 5 messages that you should never send and the 3 biggest mistakes that you can make on your LinkedIn profile. 2 of the most viral articles I've ever done. So what the lesson is people engage with not necessarily the negative. I don't want to phrase it like that, but like the problem. The problem, you know, because if they knew a solution, maybe like they would already be doing it. Why nobody likes your LinkedIn video? Really, what we're going to be talking about is tips on LinkedIn video. But that's just a little inside hack that I don't normally share with people. Marshall, shush. All right, let's get to the next slide. Okay, so just to give you some context, like LinkedIn video has probably been around for 4 or 5 Jason Davies. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the live. What a legend. Hey, Michael, how are you? Yeah, so I've been doing YouTube videos for just over 10 years now. Like, I've tried pretty much everything. Like, if you look at most YouTube channels, they're very well organized. The headlines are all in the right spot. You look at some of the screenshot here of some of my videos, they're not like that at all. And the reason being is I've just tested everything, tried and tested everything, a bit more consistent these days. So I was very excited when LinkedIn introduced video because I was like, okay, all of this testing I've been doing on YouTube, now I can apply it to LinkedIn. Man, Marshall's just getting all the attention. Awesome. Time for another special effect. Ladies and gentlemen. Matt, these are the best. I should have uploaded more of them. All right, cool. All right, let's keep going, shall we? Okay, so one of the big things with like anything on social media, probably pretty much like anything online these days, is it's changing so fast. So the problem with me like sharing content or people coming to my seminar, say like, I don't know, they came to a seminar like 12 months ago, 30% at least of the things that I would have shared have changed. So basically, like I tell people are like, oh, I did your training 2 years ago. It was awesome. And I'm like, okay, well, at least 30% of what you're doing is wrong then. Because it's changed so quick. So before we do anything, like we need to make sure that we're getting a regular flow of information. Best way I know how to do that, subscribe to my YouTube. That's where I share like when things update, when, you know, there's new how-to videos. One of the big things that's happening at the moment, I was just preparing the video today, was LinkedIn Stories has been rolled out globally now. Like, so it was in Brazil, UAE, and Australia before. Now LinkedIn has stories in every country. I've tested it very mildly, and like the reach is it's good enough for me to know that it's going to be good. Like when people start like getting familiar with consuming content that way, because they are looking at LinkedIn on their phone, stories will be huge. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, dudes. This is for how you keep up to date with content. 60 LinkedIn video mistakes to avoid is exactly what we're going to go into. Can we use those flipsies in replies? I think LinkedIn like wouldn't have a like a partnership with Blipsy yet. So they like you can download them as MP4s or GIFs. Did I pronounce it correctly? I think I might have. And so then you could like throw them in as an attachment. So potentially. But yeah, very cool. Blipsy, like I'm going to be using them a lot. Everyone's going to catch on soon. I mean, is there really anyone that doesn't tune in to Monday Night Live? That was a joke. All right. Wrong equipment. So this is the first thing with video. Like I've got a ring light. If I move my head a little bit, you can see a little bit of it in the reflection of that framed picture there. And so having some light come onto your face, and this is not by any means perfect. There's also a light above me. But having some light on your face does make the world of difference. If you're shooting near a window, always like put the camera in front of the window, but facing you. So the light's coming from behind. It'll make a huge difference to the quality of your content. Paul Harrison, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the live. And I think we can definitely do one more. Okay, guys, wrong equipment. So I talked about lighting. Also, like you don't need to have like a fantastic camera. I mean, webcams are normally pretty good these days. Mobile phones are even better. Like the quality of the video shot on my mobile phone is without a doubt like some of the best quality video I've ever seen. Like it's better quality than I would get from a professional videographer. The difference is professional videographer knows like things like lighting, like what shots are going to work the best and how to cut and edit, which is really important. Like it's a big part of storytelling. Hey, Marshall. So if you are using a telephone, the first thing is like you want it to be like if you're holding it, like it's going to be moving around a bit. You want it to be stable. So like get one of these, even if it's just a selfie stick, I know like Brooke Valinovich, who does all the Instagram content, like she literally just puts it, leans it up against a mug, and away she goes, and that works really well. But she's always got good lighting. And one of these mics here, they're called the Smart Lav by Rode. Rode make the best microphones, like, and best equipment for shooting videos. But the Rode is about $50 or so. It's a lapel mic, which means like it's designed to just clip on your shirt, and you can plug it into a phone. Most phones, I think this one doesn't allow Samsung S Plus 9S Plus. It's got a weird like cord at the bottom, but it's a normal audio cable. You can see. Stop it, Marshall. You can see in the picture there. I recommend getting one. And for like shooting webinars and stuff, I've got a USB condenser microphone, which is sat in a, what do you call these things? Shock mount. So if I hold it up a bit, you can see what I'm using here. These are exceptional. They'll set you back about $400 or so. I've got a few laughs coming through in the comments. Glad you're entertained, which brings me to the next mistake. Boring the audience. So, like, it's hard because I guess sometimes whatever your content you're talking about can be boring. Like, I think that it is a challenge, and I'm not saying like everyone has to be entertaining, but like try and make it interesting. So going back to that whole article thing, when I was posting articles at the start, like I was LinkedIn and very professional, very like proper, like I'd post graphs and I would stop it, Marshall, and I would like post professional pictures. But when I started like putting pictures that were like probably a little bit more attention grabbing, like a monkey reading a newspaper, or like and now all my examples are gone. Oh, memes are a good one. Memes, if I pronounce that one right. Yeah, memes. Yeah, so it's like serious content, but then there's like a joke there in between. Flipsies are a great example. GIFs are a great example. To keep people entertained. So it's a little bit of content, a little bit of entertainment, mix it up. Marshall's like providing the entertainment tonight, so there we go. Thanks, buddy. How can I provide the best value possible in 2 to 5 minutes that my audience will absolutely love? So this is a good analogy that I've come up with this week. Let me know what you think of this analogy, right? Walking down the street, buddy. We're walking down the street, you see 20-cent coin on the floor. Do you pick it up? The Australian 20 cents could be US 20 cents. Do you pick up the coin? Maybe, probably. I would. If you saw a 50-cent coin, let me know in the chat if you would pick it up. 50-cent coin. If you saw a 50-cent coin. What about if you saw a dollar coin, would you pick it up? Now, if you saw a $100 bill on the side of the street, on the floor, would you pick it up? I'm guessing that, you know, I obviously don't have it's a live audience, but I can't see everyone, but I'm guessing more people would be like in favor of picking up the $100 bill, right? So my point is, the guys that provide the most value win in content, in social media. How do you provide the most value in the shortest period possible? Because people ask me all the time, like, can I do longer videos? Can I do, like, you can go up to 10 minutes on LinkedIn. Can I do a 10-minute video? Of course you can, but it's just got to be valuable. Like, because you can't expect people to watch 4 minutes to get to the value. They just won't, you know? I've got a lot of yeses coming through. I think most people are going to pick up like the money, you know? I would. All right, buddy, come here. All right, Marshall is now officially on the live. Say hello. They're over there, buddy. They're not here. Oh, bless you. So I've been out most of the afternoon, so he's like looking for some attention. All right. I feel like this is entertaining tonight. My audience will absolutely love. Okay, so in 1 second, perception is the first thing that people, there's the first thing you're going to think about, whether it's text or video. In 5 seconds, it's going to be on video more emotional than it is appraisal of meaning, right? And so within the 5 to 10 second mark, this is when people are going to decide whether or not it's worth watching the video. It's that quick. Like if they don't know you or they're not like regulars on Monday Night Live, for example, I'm like hoping, I know some people do only watch like the first couple minutes. They're normally my mates. They're like, oh, you watch Monday Night Live, mate? That's like, oh yeah, what's your favorite part? They're like, well, I watched the first 2 minutes, but like it's not necessarily relevant to those guys, right? So I don't expect them to watch it. Like it's designed for people posting content, generating leads on social media. Sonia, how you doing? Sonia is moved into the area recently, and I hear she's got a puppy, so Marshall's going to have a friend soon. All right, 10 seconds. Appraisal of meaning. So that happens after the emotional response and then a evaluation of meaning. Whereas with the text, like the emotional response comes towards the end and like it takes 15 seconds to read a post. So like when you post a video, you always have to do a caption with it. So when you write the caption, finish with the emotional hook. With the video, you put the emotional hook at the start, right? Like it's just pretty important stuff. So, all right. Good example. Text, context. I'm reading about a cat. The cat is cute. I like cute cats. Oh, that's so emotional. Like emotional. Look, a cat. Oh, the cat is cute. I like cute cats. Like so. This is the difference in text and video. You got to use both when you post. Like you got to put the text with the video, but you just got to write it in a different format. Storytelling. Even if you don't think that your brand has a story, it does. It probably has more to do with whether or not you think the story is valuable. And it is. It's just got to be authentic. Like the mistake that most people make is they see like successful brands in their industry and then they think they have to be like that. So like, there might be a one-man band, you go to their website and they've got like a Brisbane office, a Melbourne office, a Perth office, and numbers for each one, and they all redirect to their mobile phone. They're trying to see bigger than they are, or so that a lot of I think businesses are afraid to be real, and maybe they think, oh, that's not good enough that I'm a one-man band and I work from home. But there is actually a lot about that story that's advantageous for a customer, because if you think about it. Like, how can a big brand provide the level of customer service from a director level that you can? So you've got a competitive advantage. You're just not seeing it in that area. So every brand has a story, and if you can share like a story of how you overcame failure, it'll engage people a lot more because it's just very authentic. Like people don't make up mistakes they made. It's like it makes people trust you and like you. Yes, besties for life. Yes, maybe we should get some volunteers to take Marshall on walks at 6 p.m. on Mondays. But then I don't know if you guys would still tune in. Now the desk is shaking because Marshall's chewing something. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep rolling. My friend Leonardo DiCaprio here makes me think a little bit about video marketing, right? So you don't want to be rejected by the customer. And the way that you get rejected by the customer is talking and asking about what you want and being selfish. Okay? So like, come watch my video, come like my video, come comment on my video, come buy my stuff. Just doesn't work because there is no value there. So Leonardo, you just need to get your content in order, mate, and everything will be all right. I actually don't think Leo's got any problems, but I thought that picture would grab your attention and it would keep the content from not being boring. Tell me a story and our brains are in sync. What's a good example that we could use here? So, the thing is with storytelling is it activates a part of our brain that we don't necessarily have active when we're analyzing data or we're being educated. And so metaphors are exceptional ways to communicate an idea to somebody. So like, let's say, for example, somebody says, oh, your price is expensive, right? And you could say, yeah, but we provide more value. We like are better in this area, this area, this area. Or you could say, look, there's two ways to get from the mainland to an island. You can go on a long tail boat and you'll get there in the end, and you'll go very slowly, or you can go in a super yacht Sunseeker with 5 jets on the back and get there a lot quicker. How would you prefer to get to the island? The fact that you told a story makes the idea more, they're more open to it. And then when they get the metaphor, they get the idea, and then they make the connection themselves to what you're actually talking about. They've made that connection, therefore they believe it. Storytelling is the most underrated skill in business and marketing, in my opinion, without a doubt. I've just probably got like into social storytelling from a education point of view. Like I did my first storytelling for business workshop last year. It was really good, even if I do say so myself. I mean, in terms of the feedback, like I really enjoyed the feedback. And the more I study it, the more I teach people on it, the more I educate it, I just realize how important it is and how actual, like how big part of, what a big part of what I've been doing storytelling is. Number 3 is a massive one. Like this should probably be number 1. Like, Jesus, 90% of people on LinkedIn watch the videos without the sound on. And then you've got 50% of people on average are not watching after 10 seconds, 80% on average are not watching after a minute. If you're posting a video on there with no captions, so 90% of people can't even like get what you're communicating, and then you've got 10% to work with, and like half of them are leaving after 10 seconds on average, like doesn't leave you much, you know. And then so you get to the end of the 9 minutes or whatever, and you're like, oh, comment below if you enjoyed the video, but like you just not many people watching. That's the problem. So captions are really important, and I'm going to give you a web address right now, but I need you to write it down for the best caption service in the world. I've been using them for years. They're called Rev, R-E-V, and way it works is it's $1 a minute, and they've got all these writers, transcribers around the world that work for them, and you upload your video and they transcribe it within a few hours, and then they give you a better video back with the captions in it. Like before, it was not that easy. Like you had to download the caption file, then put it into the. Now you can actually just get the video back with the subtitles burned in. So I always like to burn them in, because like LinkedIn do give you the option to upload the SRT file, subtitle file, and then people can decide whether they turn it on or off. I prefer to just burn them in so that everyone has to watch them anyway, because like a lot of people will be scrolling through their newsfeed. They're not actually looking for a video to watch. So like, are they going to go, settings, turn subtitles on? Probably not. Like you just want to have it there. So, the video, they start watching it, they see the subtitles immediately, just making it as easy as possible for someone to consume your content. So write down this address, okay? So you got your HTTP // you may not need to put that in if you're using Google Chrome. Bibby, BIBBY .consulting, bibby.consulting /rev, R-E-V. That'll give you a $10 voucher to try it out. So you can test it for free, because you're part of the legendary Monday Night Live community. And Rev give me $10 vouchers to hand out. So bibby.consulting /rev. Go get your free subtitles for your first video. Try it out. This is their homepage, just sharing that it's $1 a minute to get it done manually. I mean, it's just so cheap. Number 4, not promoting. Oh, yeah, here we go. We got some feedback here. Tatiana, Veed.io. It's so easy to use. Subtitles, one of the features. Have you heard about it? No, I haven't. Okay, I'm going to check out Veed. I'll do that after Monday Night Live. Thanks, Tatiana. Hey, Sean, thanks for joining us. Love the feedback. Awesome. Sorry, I would have done that twice. They're moving so quick, I can't keep up. Alex Edwards. Oh, that's so good. I think, honestly, being a solo entrepreneur is a competitive advantage. You work out, it's just, if you write down all the reasons why it's an advantage to deal with somebody that has your story, it'll give you a lot more confidence in sharing the story. So sharing a story just for the sake of sharing a story is not necessarily what I'm saying that you should do. I'm sharing the story to give people the biggest story is your brand story. And so this is why you do what you do. And I think this is something that should be contributed to your LinkedIn profile. When people get to your LinkedIn profile, one of the first things you want to tell them is why you do what you do. The reason is, if you don't tell people why you do what you do, they may, not always, but I think in most instances, will assume that you're doing it to get their money. Because not everybody does what they do because they're purpose driven, because they want to help and they want to add value. Especially people in jobs and stuff. Like a lot of people don't like their jobs, right? They're doing it to get money from the employer, and a lot of people sometimes think business owners are there to get money from other people. So all you do by explaining why you do what you do is you say, no, it's not that reason, this is it. So, a reason I do what I do is I like helping, I like transforming people's lives through my business coaching service, and I love them telling me that they've, had a good experience, or, like selling houses. I love the look on my client's face when the deal's done and, it's been a smooth process and they got the best price for their house. You get my drift. But tell people why you do what you do. But if you can tell it through a story with a video or something, you'll nail social media, and it'll be like the starting point of you nailing social media. Because like once you see how that all works with success by sharing one story, you'll come up with other stories. Oh, maybe I can tell a story about that. Maybe I can tell a story about that. The video that did it for me was how I started Bibby Consulting Group. You go find it on YouTube. Very vulnerable. Like, it's the first time I ever told that story, and it just went bananas. And I was like, I don't like that one. I don't like the way I look. I look nervous, and I was saying a lot, but it was very popular, and that's where my journey with storytelling really kicked off. I went on a tangent then. We're talking about not promoting. Richard Branson's here blowing us a kiss, keeping things interesting, not boring. Richard Branson, by the way, is the king of this, of promotion and PR. Like the things that he did when he started Virgin, go and research them. Go check out some of the, check out like his books. His stories are amazing. Like he was doing the hot air ballooning around the world, captured a lot of media attention. Like whenever he would launch a new destination in the airline thing, like he would throw big parties, dress up as like air hostesses, all this sort of stuff to capture attention. Sometimes it wasn't always positive. Sometimes it was negative attention that he got in the press, but he always got in the press. And it's a great way to market, because what the press is looking for are stories. And so they're telling stories about your brand. So they're very engaging, and it's a third party telling them. So it's way more effective than like advertising, if it's, I don't think it necessarily has to be a positive story, but I think if your brand's got the goods to back up, the attention, then I think all attention is positive. Use a hashtag. Okay, so we know about hashtags from Instagram, and on Facebook, like they're not that big a deal anymore. And well, that's what we've been told, right? And LinkedIn, like, it's not like it's going to open the floodgates of traffic like it used to on Instagram, right? There's two things we need to think about with hashtags. First of all, no hashtags versus one hashtag. How much more reach do you think a post will get, all things being equal, on LinkedIn? No hashtag, one hashtag. Okay, so here's the answer, 30%. So you use one hashtag, you got 30% on average, more people looking at your content. So it's worth using, right? Like if you use a hashtag, but make it like a one that's like relevant, very relevant to the post, and make it one that's specific enough so that it increases the relevance of the hashtag. So like if you post something about like the 3 tips for optimizing your LinkedIn profile, well, you wouldn't do that based on my tip earlier. If you just joined us, go back to the start of the video. The 3 mistakes that to avoid on your LinkedIn profile, and you use the hashtag like LinkedIn tips, LinkedIn or social media. Like it's good, but LinkedIn profile tips would be more relevant. Therefore, anyone who's following that hashtag and sees the content is more likely to engage with it, more probably likely to be interested in it. Relevancy is the key with the hashtags. Also, on Instagram, for example, like you go to somebody's profile, what do you see? You see a library of their content. You see all their previous posts. So you can say, oh, look at all these pictures, right? Whereas on LinkedIn, what you see their profile. So you don't actually see all of their previous posts for the last 2 years. So the way that you get people to look at your content from like, in 3 months time, 6 months time, a year time, like when I get notifications from posts that I did like a year ago, it does like that happens, is by using hashtags. And so use like a brand specific hashtag. So you might want to, like Monday Night Live, perfect example. Hashtag Monday Night Live. You see all the previous episodes of Monday Night Live. Brilliant example, but create like one for your brand or a series of content. Because I also have like Ask Nat, LinkedIn Heroes. I just checked hashtag Nathanial Bibby the other day. There was all this post that I missed recently because I would expect people to tag me, not use the hashtag. And so like check your brand's hashtag. Maybe people are already talking about you. Okay, so this is like when hashtags first started to come in. So there's too many in there these days. Well, I wouldn't do that many these days. Like, who's to say whether or not you should do that many hashtags? But I think that what can happen is you dilute the relevance. So, like, if I just picked 3 hashtags these days, I think it's going to be more effective and get more engagements. 3 to 5 max. But I normally use 3, sometimes even 2. And it can look a bit cluttered as well. And then when you're writing the text, like you see how I've spaced out like each of the bullet points and stuff like that, and use some what do you call these things? Emojis. That's right. Emojis can work on LinkedIn. Just don't overdo it. I'm not a big fan of the emojis in your headline. Oh, so we got another supporter of Veed. Geez, I'm behind the 8 ball, aren't I? This stuff, I have to check this out. Screw, let's do it. But yeah, I have bought that book. I don't know if I finished it, but I did read Losing My Virginity a long time ago. That was amazing. Is that Kiyosaki in the picture with you? Looks like it. Losing My Virginity. But also great personality. Yeah, I mean Richard Branson backs up he's the man when it comes to entrepreneurship, in my opinion. 30 minutes. Okay, well, we've got probably another 10 minutes to go. So tagging people in your post. The reason you want to do this is because like the only way that people are going to get notified when you post, like as a notification, like it may even pop up on their phone or they may get an email about it depending on how the notifications are set up, or it'll just be like one of those things that pops up in the corner of their browser when they log into LinkedIn. They're not going to get notified if you just post and you don't tag people in it. Or they don't have, like if you could use a hashtag and they could be following a hashtag, but they may not have notifications set up with a hashtag. It's all quite detailed technical stuff, but it is important because like you could be using hashtags and not getting any engagement. The reason that you want people to get notified of your content when you post is that it doesn't just matter that you get engagement. It matters how fast you get engagement. That's why I like these lives, because I'm getting engagement right away. But like, if you post, like, if your audience is in Perth and you live in Perth and you post at 10 p.m. at night and then you go to bed and then you wake up in the morning and like a few people see it, you get a few comments, but then you're like, oh, that video didn't get many views overall, as many as, I normally get. And you think, oh, the LinkedIn algorithm's not doing very well. But this is the thing, right? Because you post before everyone goes to bed, no one's going to see it till the morning. And it actually matters how fast you get engagement. So if you posted that video in the morning instead, like 8:30 a.m., given that your network is local in Perth, they've got all day to engage with it. So you're going to be engagement all day, and therefore like it'll amplify the content. So it actually matters how fast you get the engagement when it comes to hacking the algorithm. Is this valuable, guys? Let me know in the chat. I need to know if I'm adding value, because if I'm not, I'm going to have a very depressing Monday evening after this. So please be honest, but let me know if I'm adding value. I'd really appreciate the feedback. Number 5, not being consistent. Consistency can be difficult. It is something that I think that you need to do to build trust with your audience. Like Monday Night Live, when live came out, I knew I had to commit to a weekly series, and it hasn't always been easy. Like there's been public holidays and stuff where I've had to show up. But it forces me to be consistent, right? Most of the time I love it, of course. Like, but I'm just saying it hasn't always been easy. So I'm doing this I've been doing Monday Night Live for at least a year, maybe a year and a half now. Now, if you're struggling to come up with content ideas, that's generally why people don't be consistent, right? So you create a series. So don't think about what video, if you don't have a series, like rather than thinking about what video I should create or the next video I'm going to create or the next 10 videos, think about a project that you can create that means that you can create content consistently for a long time. What do I mean by that? Here's an example. Ask Nat. Like, so when people post on social media, they use the hashtag Ask Nat. They have like the questions or things that they want me to talk about in my content. Then I take that that post and I use it to create more content. So that's a way that I can always come up with content ideas from the audience, likely to add value because they're the ones who have asked. And oh, you guys are the best. Thank you. Oh, you guys have made my night. Thank you so much. Oh, that's awesome. LinkedIn Heroes. So this is a series that took a bit of a pause during COVID, but you'll find all of the interviews on YouTube, and I mean they're on LinkedIn as well, which is probably easier to find on Google, but interviews with entrepreneurs making an impact. So as long as they're entrepreneurs that are inspiring, that I believe can add value to my audience, there'll always be content. So just constantly, interviewing entrepreneurs making an impact. We had like Grant Cardone on, Kerwin Ray, Dr. John DeMartini. Geez, so I think I was just doing some name dropping. Moving on. Jules Lund was also a guest. This is an example of one of the episodes. A couple of things with getting guests on your show. Like, you've got to think also, like, if you want to get a high-profile guest, when I say a high-profile, I mean one with a social media audience. I always look for guests that, not necessarily like, you could have like a really famous entrepreneur or like a really wealthy man, but if they don't have a social media presence, people aren't going to be used to consuming content there, and they won't necessarily be used to engaging either. So you could have like, and I'm not going to name any names of examples of people I've interviewed, but like it actually is more important that they've got a social media presence. And what I found with doing the LinkedIn Heroes thing is a lot of people like who have been in the media and stuff, they have like a presence on Instagram or Facebook, but haven't really worked out LinkedIn yet. They know that the audience is there. They know it's a valuable tool. They know it's a business audience. So most entrepreneurs like want to get on there, but most of them haven't mastered it. So like a LinkedIn specific content pillar is an awesome idea. And then people are like, oh, but what about the guys on Facebook? Well, it doesn't mean I can't post LinkedIn Heroes episodes on Facebook, but by being specific, it does make you stand out, because Jules gets like 20, 30 people ask him to be on a podcast a day. Like, I don't know if it's still on his LinkedIn profile, but for a while there it said, no podcast interviews, I can't do them anymore, I don't have enough time. He's running a big company. Tribe is a very successful influence marketing agency. Yeah, so like, he had that on his profile when I approached him, So like, people will write asking somebody to be a guest on their podcast, and it's just like, they just assume like, oh yeah, you're going to want to be on my podcast, but without thinking about the value that they're providing to that person. So it's about asking intelligently. If you ask intelligently, it doesn't matter if they say on their profile, I don't do podcast interviews. Well, do you provide value to an audience? Because like the thing is, like, if you approach them the right way, evidence shows that they'll do it. Another hack, I'm just throwing hacks out here because Leon said I've got some nuggets. Someone already knows, but like Coca-Cola exposure effect, is that what it's called? Yeah, the mere exposure effect is the one. And I use Coca-Cola as an analogy. Basically, more times a brand is an audience is exposed to your brand, the more likely they are to like and trust you, familiar with you, do business with you. It's also called the familiarity principle. Something I picked up from Mr. Kerwin Ray. Shout out to K Ray. It was his birthday the other day. So yeah, another thing you can do is you can give a copy of the original content to the person you interviewed. So like, I posted this in two parts, part 1 and part 2, this interview, and I got about 80,000 views or something. Totally bragging. No, but I'm just trying to give you context, right? And then I said, Jules, oh, by the way, here is the edited version of our interview in 2 parts with subtitles on them, in case you want to post them or use them on your social media. And so Jules then posted them on LinkedIn from his account as well. And so the total views went up to like 200,000 after Jules posted as well. So just from that one little thing that most people don't do. Most people just like post it on their account, tag Jules, and away they go. But like, more of his audience saw the content because he posted it natively on his profile rather than just being tagged in it. It's a pretty, but like, you could take this one step further. What about if you edited and created like Instagram stories, like short 15-second videos, or like you put them in a square and made it like an Instagram post less than 1 minute. Like you could actually create a library of content, give it to the person, and you've just solved a massive problem for them, because it's an investment to create content. Like to create content at scale is a massive investment. So if you provide good quality content edited where they're being interviewed by you, they'll post it ever and a day. Elena Cardone is another great example. Like she's posted on her Instagram and her LinkedIn profile probably 10 or 15 videos from my interview with her. And in the terms of when somebody's a guest on LinkedIn Heroes, it just says you're welcome to post any of the content, use any of the content. All you got to do is use LinkedIn Heroes as a hashtag at the end and tag Nathanial. So like I get a tag every time, and it always says at the bottom, thanks so much Nathanial for the interview on LinkedIn Heroes. It's a great way to just start growing your audience, get more awareness, and hopefully show people that you provide value. Comments are really important, and replying to comments, I think, return every handshake, in other words. We're going to keep moving because of time. The mistake number 6, the final mistake. Not getting started. Look at this little cherub here, looking at the playground. You don't want to be that little guy. Get in there, guys. All right. We'll avoid the next slide. So not getting started is the worst mistake you can make. Like this, I think the subtitles is probably the next thing, and then the storytelling. So bibby.consulting/rev. Guys, I want you to have an amazing week in business. This has been an awesome episode of Monday Night Live. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know if you got some value in the comments. We'll be back next week with a guest. And I also am bringing a couple of you guys on who'll be posting with the hashtag Monday Night Live, but I've just haven't got around to contacting them yet to invite them. But like the people have been posting using the hashtag, and I've seen a couple of them. They've been beautiful. Great work on all of that stuff, guys. It's not too late if you post using the hashtag Monday Night Live. I will see it. I'm keeping a track on all social channels. See you guys. Have a fantastic night. Appreciate all the engagement.